Welcome back to the Eric and Tom Show. We got a good one for you today. Okay, another epoxy video coming out. So this is, we feel like this one here is like an intermediate. Okay, it's not exactly beginner easy, but it's not really, really hard advanced either. So this is kind of our intermediate project, but nevertheless, this is going to be super fantastic, super cool one. We're going to get you spun around. We're going to walk you through all this. Several videos as usual. We like to take our time because we want to make sure you get it. So check it out. Here we go. Right out the gate, you are staring at a sheet of birch. Okay, this is right out of a Lowe's, a Home Depot, just a 4x8 sheet of birch, three-quarter thick. This is going to be our base, our backdrop. This is what's going to be holding, our design, everything, the resin, the whole nine. And what it is this particular piece right here actually is going to go in right here. So this is what we are cutting this for, is the back side of our shower here. And I want to point out to you, we're in a basement, so the floor is not straight like that. It's actually slanted, which is typical in a basement. There's a drain on the other side of this wall, so any flooding down here, it would all go to the drain. Well, in doing so, that makes the floor side our pitch. Even though we know the ceiling is probably not 110% perfectly straight, it is the straight plane. The pitch is going to be down here on the floor. And what I want to show you, let me grab this here, Tom. I want to show you, this is typical for everybody. Come on in here, Tom. Right here. When taking the measurements, let's just start out here so I can show you what I'm talking about. Most of y'all know this. Once you go up, you're trying to decide something, you're trying to split hairs here. It's really hard to see the bend. To get an exact measurement, well, you can do it one of two ways if you really want to get exact. A lot of people will do this here. They'll push up against one place or the other, and let's say right here, for easy math, let's say we mark the 10 inches, make a mark right there. Then you can take it from the floor, run it up, whatever you're seeing on the tape, add the 10 inches. That'll get you pretty close. We got another way of doing it. This here works pretty good for us as well. We take two furring strips like this. Okay, we're going to set the back one down. Then we're going to take the secondary one, just like that. And now I'm touching and I'm holding that pressure, right? See how I'm sliding? You can hear it. There you go. So I'm literally touching, and you can hear that little bit of slide. I'm going to hold that with my hand here, and then I'm going to take a clamp. Now, keep in mind, this is probably not the fastest way, but it is very accurate. Once you have that like that, just make sure the clamps are on the same side as the wood. Then literally what you would do is figure out which side is your bottom, which side is your top. And with two of you, it makes it pretty easy. You come in here and you set this guy right here to the bottom, to the edge, and then clearly where that end is up here, then we would come down here and make our mark. The good thing about this, or measuring down the 10 inches and then coming up to figure out your distance, the good thing about both of those, if you end up cutting the project, we're going to stage this in here. We're going to, put it up, make sure everything fits perfectly before we take it down and then do what we're going to do with it. If you do any one of these two and you go to stage it, and as it goes up, it scrapes that ceiling, you can always cut a little more away. I know it's an irritation, but if you just go off the measuring tape, and we're trying to get tight and specific, we got a really small little piece of trim that's going to wrap all this, so we really don't have a lot of room to play and maneuver. You can always take that back off and shave a little bit more. I'd much rather do that than to burn up this whole sheet and realize once you stage it in there that you're short. Then you know, you can't make it grow at that point, and then you're trying to come up with different things to do when your trim is very, very small. So that's it on the front side. We're going to go ahead and we're going to map this out. We're going to draw this out, get all our lines drawn, and then we're going to cut this and shape it up. And then we're going to stage it. We're going to put it up there and show you how tight everything ended up being. So don't go nowhere. All right, look. See that? That's what you're looking for. There is barely, it's about a 1/16 of an inch. See? There you go. That's the kind of movement you're looking for. We're sitting flat on the floor. And there you go. You got about a 1/16 up there. That's why I like that. That gets that right on the money. All right, you guys, first thing you need to do is you need to determine which side is your top, which side is your bottom. Okay, this is our top because we know predominantly the top is not going to move. We know that the floor is sitting in a slant. So we're going to put our little cheat piece here even right here at the top that's not going to be touched, and then that runs all the way down here to the bottom. And look, right where it is, that's where we make our little mark here. Okay, and that's just to get specific so that we don't, you know, we do not want to be too short. We can always trim a little bit more away, but if we trim a little too much, then we're, you know, the sheet is no good at that point. Okay, so look, we've already got our first one. Our first one that we set was top to bottom right here. It's on our left side, just like you're reading a book, left to right. The next one we're gonna get, since the bottom fluctuates because of the pitch of the floor, the next one we're gonna do is the top measurement. We're gonna come right here to the go board edge, just like we did the tile on the other side, because when we're done with this, this is gonna end up getting finished out with tile. It's gonna cap the tile side and the epoxy side right here. So this, we just simple tape measure. We're gonna touch the wood over here. Because we have an open end, we can actually see to the spec. That's exactly 38 inches, exactly. Okay, then we're gonna come down here at the bottom. We're gonna set it on the floor and look, 38 inches also. And that's because we set this wall here when we built it, we set the wall plumb. So if your wall is not plumb and you get two different measurements, that's the whole reason. So we need 38 inches exactly. We're gonna go put that on our sheet and put that in play. Then we're gonna do the furring strip trick there on the outside here. We're gonna make that line, and where those crosshairs come together, that's what we're looking for. That's gonna give us our shape to cut out. All right, so that's what you're looking at now. Remember, we started, this is the bottom, that's the top. We started on that left side, just like reading a book, left to right. Once we had that template, we came over our 38 inches. We came over our 38 inches. Then we set the outside of the wall. We templated that, which was right here. And go ahead and run those, just keep them concurrent. Run it right off the sheet both ways, because what we are left with and what you're cutting is right where these crosshairs. So now we're going to trim this off, trim that off, and that's going to give us the pitch of that floor. All right, y'all, so there it is, and we got it dry fitted. And I want to show you the top there. That's what you're looking for. Okay, that's a nice little breathing gap, as we would call it. So everything's good on the ending point here, and we've got a shim here barely picking us up just to glide across that, and we do have room. We are going to be trimming this out when it is at the complete finish. So that sews up part one. Let's move on to part two and start with the actual design.